most valuable things in our house are the TV, which I can watch Star Trek on, and my 4 Star Trek books, along with some models. About a month or 2 ago, I had a real bad accident. I accidentally stepped on my Enterprise, and there went the best model in the world. Would you please tell me why you talk Star Trek off the R? Why did you tack Star Trek off the R? Are you going to put Star Trek on the air? I like Spock and Captain Kirk and Bonds and Sulu and Chekhov. I like the shoe, and so does my sister, Dose too, and I like it the best. I would like to know why you took Star Trek off the air. Please, would you tell me why you took Star Trek off the R? And since William Shatner is my favorite actor, will you please send me an autographed picture of Spock and Kirk? Please, please, please. Dear Star Trek, I think you probably got my first letter. I'll be written often. Sorta a pen pal, you might say. That is, if you'll write. I've drawn some pictures for you. Hope you don't mind my slang. I've gotten a new Star Trek model, the Enterprise. I've painted the windows some yellow, some black. I've painted the engines and impulse engines and everything else that was supposed to be painted the right color. How do you like picture? I love monsters and especially Star Trek. I've got a big Dracula poster on my wall and a lot of Star Trek pictures. I'm going to be Mr. Spock, Captain Kirk, or Scotty on Halloween. P.S. I love Yeoman Janice. Dearest Jean, my name's Sandra Berlinski. I am 14 years old. I admire your work too much, especially in the wonderful film that you are the creator and producer of, Star Trek. I don't understand how you had the magnific imagination to wonder so fantastic series about space that I love so much. Jean, how did surge the wonderful idea of Star Trek? And how did you have the brilliant imagination to put a Vulcan or half Vulcan aboard the Enterprise? The cast that was chosen is of the best quality, and I think they acted Star Trek with so naturality that they looked like that they were really aboard of the USS Enterprise. A new series is on the way with all the original Trekkies. Isn't truth? Please, please tell me about it, all you know. You might be a wonderful person to create Star Trek and re-begin it, and we fanatic Trekkies are waiting. Our Captain James T. Kirk to convoke all his crew members of the Enterprise, and I am sure that the captain will give this order with so happiness as the rest of the crew, and we much more. Jean, congratulations is so few to you. You gave me fascinating moments, and my great wish is to correspond with so fanciful and interesting person in this world. Dear Sirs, I would like to know if you could send me any parts of the Enterprise. Mostly I would want the bridge, transporter room, engine room, the hangar deck, or the conference room. I would like to have a full-size 8x10 portrait of the Enterprise. Do you know where I can get a phaser to use on my stupid little sister when she wants to watch Wonderful World of Disney instead of Star Trek? I watch Star Trek all the time, but my sister Tammy doesn't like it, and I don't know why, but I guess that is just the way girls are. I was wondering, are you selling or giving away Spock ears? If you are doing the latter, would you please send me some? I want to scare my teacher. If you are doing the 4-1, how much are they? On the cartoons, why don't they draw Chekhov? Is he just too cute for them to draw? My 13-year-old sister loves him. Many people saw him kiss a fan during the signing of the autographs. I told my sister and she blew up. Dear Star Trek, I am, in fact, Captain James T. Kirk, Deborah White. I, Debbie White, am 14 and a freshman in Kinmundi, Illinois, Alma High School. I am the head of the weirdest bunch ever. One Friday last year, my niece, 3 nephews, and I needed something to do, so we formed the Star Trek Club. Me, James T. Kirk, because I'm usually the leader. My niece, Nelda, Mr. Spock, because she can lead when need be, and she's very level-headed. She seldom loses her temper. She's 11 years old. Robert, a 10-year-old nephew, is Mr. Sulu because he claims he can drive everything from my mini bike to the car. James, a 9-year-old nephew, is McCoy for the simple reason he wanted to be. David, a 7-year-old nephew, is Mr. Scott because he likes to take things apart to find out what makes them tick. Then my grandmother, she's 69, joined as Yeoman Janice Rand. My 50-year-old mother joined as Nurse Christine Chappell. My 29-year-old sister-in-law became Lieutenant Uhura. My 31-year-old brother is Chekhov. My father, who's 53, also joined. Bye from all of us. Faithful fan Debbie White, Kinmundi, Illinois. Dear Mr. Roddenberry, I hope you like my stories. Sincerely, David Singer. This is a story about the Enterprise, the Fireball Monsters. While flying in space, the Enterprise sighted a Klingon ship, but the Klingons had a fireball monster. They put up their shields. The fireball monster threw a fireball. They lost their number 4 shield. They shot their phasers. The Klingon ship was gone. The Enterprise won. The end. I would like to know if you could use a 12-year-old that looks like a 16-year-old boy in any of your new movies or shows. I am enclosing a picture recently taken of myself, telephone number, address, height, weight, and measurements. I know you will refuse me, and there's hardly any logic in asking, as Spock would put it. I have a few blemishes and stuff, but after what you did to those ears, boy, you can do anything. I'm sure you could fit me in as Spock's or Jim's cousin, that I'm in trouble and Jim or Spock is the only one who can get me out of the trouble. I really have my hopes set on this. I'll have my fingers and toes crossed until you reply, and make the reply good. Dear Mr. Roddenberry, this is a special business letter, and I have ideas for the introduction to your Star Trek movie. I am 11 years old. Please do not think I'm crazy or something. I'm actually very serious. I will send you a tape of a theme that sounds pretty good. I really must stop writing now. For additional info on it, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Steve Lacey I, Seabrook, Texas. Dear Gene Roddenberry, my name is Donna Ray Crouch, and I'm 14 years old. I'm writing to you about an idea I've come up with for a new Star Trek series. This is the idea. This show would be similar to the previous series, but taking Mr. Spock's place would be a young girl Vulcan, myself, who would be Mr. Spock's younger sister. Because she was born late in her parents' life, unlike Earth people, who are sometimes handicapped after birth, she would be a genius and child prodigy, even for a Vulcan. The young girl would be unemotional like Mr. Spock, but instead of black hair, she would have light brown hair. This young girl would be the only child on ship, except maybe for some episodes with other kids as guest stars. The reason I've come up with this idea, and am submitting it to you, is to give me a chance to fulfill my desire to appear on TV. I do not have an agent, but am interested in obtaining one. Enclosed is a drawing of me and how I'd look as Mr. Spock's sister. Thank you, Donna Ray Crouch, Milpitas, California. I have a small suggestion. I know you get millions of them for your Star Trek movie. I know in past episodes blood has rarely been shown, but in the movie, if there are any scenes where someone bleeds, I think it would look good if it were Spock. For instance, say Spock's arm is cut. Imagine the reaction when green blood spurts out. See what I mean? Brian DeSlot, Port Neches, Texas. Dear Mr. Roddenberry, here are a few ideas and thoughts you might be able to use in Star Trek. 1. Because the crew of the Enterprise live in an artificial atmosphere, they would need sun lamps to stay healthy. 2. In sick bay, why not add a dentist and maybe a ship head shrink? 3. How about some pockets? 4. A telephone for the married members of the crew to call home when near enough. 5. And in case some crew members get stuck on an Ice Age planet because of transporter malfunction, a long rope and a pot of hot coffee. I hope that the above are useful. Peace and long life. John R. Guthrie III, Redford, Virginia. Dear Star Trek, I am Sheila Dawn Boyer. My sister wants Dr. McCoy to come over to our house. Here's the house number. ... P.S. I love you. Please come over. If you can't come over, then send Kirk. If he can't come over, then write me lots of notes. P.P.S. I am 8. Dear Gene Roddenberry, I believe a real-life Federation can be built by 1985 and a space academy built by early 1979. The Federation consists of building a starship, the parts on Earth, and shipping them up in NASA's shuttlecrafts. I'm going to put the Space Federation initiative on the November 76 ballot of all 50 states. I need $20,000 to do that. $10,000 goes to the Attorney Generals, and $10,000 goes for correspondence to all American colleges of the USA and advertisement. 500,000 signatures are required for California's ballot, and there are 300,000 students in California, so I think we'll get it. You think NBC can donate or loan the money? I'm sure some states will pass it, and NBC will be paid back. I need $20,000. Please ask them. By 1985, 432 specially trained crewmen, half are women, will take off for Alpha Centauri. So please help, Gene. You please give me a small donation, say $25, so I can correspond with the California colleges. This is not a zonk project. I've been working on the Federation since October 73. The ship will look like the starship on your show, and it will be 1017 feet long. I'll need William Shatner's Captain Kirk to do advertisements introducing the Space Federation. Thank you. Kip Lee, Redding, California. Dear Gene, I just love your show, and I've got great news for you. I am going to create a real Starship Enterprise. I've got it all planned out. Here's my plan. I'm going to earn as much money as I can, and when I get about $7,000, I will go to the rocket factory and ask them if they would help me build a Starship Enterprise. If they do, they can be part of my crew, and you can be my first officer. Oh, by the way, would you send me some maps and drawings of the Starship Enterprise? And please send me a picture of the bridge, too. Love, Greg Farr, Austin, Texas. My golden dream, that is to make an exact replica of the Enterprise and turn it into a hotel. I estimate the cost at $80 million and 40 years to pay off. I admit it's a long time to pay off, but I'd live in it for free. Truly my dream come true. Sincerely, Roy Cameron Walker, Memphis, Tennessee.